Wasn't that Cobra Kai sneak peek something? It was absolutely all we needed right now. And it's a shame that we didn't get a full trailer, but hopefully soon. But at least now we have a date. We know it's coming in January. And it's still a couple of months out, but at least we have a confirmation. We know it's coming and that Season 4 has officially been given the green light and that is underway. So all good things to come. But let's dissect what we got. Now, I personally believe this season is going to be heavily using flashbacks and flash forwards, tying past and future all together to tell the story of this season. We already know from the previous trailer that Daniel is actually in Okinawa, being presumably fighting Chosen or being trained by him, one of the two. I think Daniel has gone to Okinawa to find balance and to find peace and to find a way to try and make all this right after everything that's gone down. And I think the part where Johnny is all bruised up and battered, I think that is directly after the beach. I think after the beach where Johnny throws away the phone, throws away the keys, he goes back to the dojo to fight Kreese and have a round two. And then Kreese will do something like call the police on Johnny because maybe Johnny's getting the upper hand and, convince them that Johnny went in there and assaulted him. And then that ties into the little scene where Johnny is in the behind the bars. So I think at that moment he'll probably be seeing his own son Robby get taken into custody at that point, because we now know that Robby, yes, he will be in juvie, based on the time skip of his haircut and just the way he looks. So I'm interested to see where Robby goes this season. I think Robby is in a fight for survival. I think him in juvie, it's going to be very interesting to see how he operates there. I think you're probably going to get a few cool fight scenes with him trying to survive in there. And if any of you have ever seen Arrow Season 7, where Arrow was locked in the Supermax with all the people, maybe not on that kind of level, but similar to. So I think you'll see Robby just trying to, keep his head down and try and buy his time. We now know that Miguel is alive. He's not necessarily 100% well, but he is alive by the end of it, and he wakes up, which is good because we all started to worry with the little teasers that we've been getting lately that Miguel was going to bite the bullet. Now, there is something that I saw, and I don't know if this is a bait and switch. It could be a complete misdirection. But the writers did say something about a potential of 3 deaths this season. And, if they were going to kill off 3 characters, I doubt that they would actually give that information away, so prematurely before the season begins. Because then we'll all just be speculating, who are the 3 people? Who are the 3 people? When it ends up being 5 people, or it ends up being 2 people, or 1 person, or none. But if I was a betting man, I'd personally, judging on what we saw in that trailer, I think Miguel, even though he wakes up, could still be in very poor health, and he is very likely. Johnny's stepdad is someone that I feel like they could really pull on the heartstrings for and really add to Johnny's character even further. Now, the shot of Hawk in the preview, with him having bloodied up hands, something about it tells me that whatever goes on between him and Dimitri is going to spill over. And I think maybe after Dimitri shoved him into a trophy case, I think Hawk is going to be on the warpath, especially with his best friend now in the hospital. So I think he's going to be looking for revenge in any way that he can get it. And the way he's going to go about it is probably go on a warpath himself, and he'll probably go and take the fight to Dimitri head on. That's just something that I think they could throw out there, and I'm very shout out to Dimitri. He was really one of the surprises last season. I was very happy with how he kind of came along. Another bit that interests me is the bit where Mrs. LaRusso is holding Sam in her arms, and it looks like Sam is kind of a bit better than she was when we last saw her, with all the bruises and the cuts and the stab wound. It looks like she's better. I could be wrong, but it does look like she's better. So, and then afterwards it cuts to Daniel, in a very emotional kind of way, and it kind of tells me that maybe, just maybe, something happens to them, which ties into what the writers said about the 3 character deaths. Now, this could be a wild card, but what if it's the son? What if it's Daniel's son that actually ends up getting the bullet, in a sense, and pays the price for everything that's gone on? And we're just gonna see more of the fallout from season 2. Like, it's not done. The fallout still needs to happen. I still believe that Johnny and Daniel are going to come together by the end of the series at least, or at least in this season or next season, I believe they're going to be on the same page. I believe they're going to be unanimous. And because that's what the show's building towards. You know, they keep teasing it at the end of every season, and then some, you know, BS happens, and then they're right back to square one. So I am hoping that this is the time that they bring Daniel and Johnny together, because I personally don't really want to see Miguel and Robby go at it again, but I could understand Miguel's point of view if he wants to do that. And I could understand if he has some resentment to Johnny, saying, look, I listened to you and look where it got me. It got me in here because I listened to you. You said, you know, show mercy, show honor and all that. And then I got slammed over a staircase by your own son. So it does put Johnny in a very interesting position. And this is where I think a character like Chosen is perfect to introduce right now, because we haven't really caught up with Chosen in a while. So by now he could be a man of honor, he could be different. And when we last saw him, he was running away, and then he challenged Daniel to a fight to the death. And, you know, we don't know what he's been up to since then. So I'd like to really presume that he's a man who's kind of matured, he's become his own person, and he's taken the teachings of Sato and, you know, what Miyagi instilled in Sato's teachings too, and taking them both on board and sort of finding his balance. So I do believe that he will play a very crucial role in Daniel and Johnny's kind of resurgence. As far as how they could go this season, you know, with them saying 3 character deaths or whatever, I'm not really going to put too much stock into that, but I am excited to see how this goes. This show is probably one of the best continuations of any 80s franchise I've seen. Star Wars, you know, is a franchise, it's continued, but it has major problems, it has issues right across the board. Things like Terminator, Predator, you know, the Jurassic Park, the list goes on. I'd safely say that the Creed movies that follow the Rocky legacy and the Cobra Kai show that follows the Karate Kid legacy are some of the only things that are really kind of staying true to the original while telling a new story. And what I love about this show, and what I really love, is they don't just get the new characters in, shove them out, shove the old ones out, like basically get all the legacy characters out the way so we can shove the new characters in your face. No, what they do is they blend the old and the new together and just basically make a hybrid. So whenever Miguel's on the screen, you're excited. Whenever Robby's on the screen, you know, you're interested. Whenever Daniel's on the screen, you're like, oh, okay. When Johnny's on the screen, you're fired up. You know, it's perfectly executed the way they've done this show, and I just cannot wait to see where they go next. I think 6 seasons has been touted, but for me, I could even see it going past that. I think they're definitely laying the foundations for a long-term story. But my problem with Cobra Kai, that maybe it's not really a problem right now, but it's something that I worry about, is I'm happy that it's a TV show because you can stretch out the storytelling a little bit more, but my one concern is that I don't want it to stretch out so far that it becomes kind of unbelievable, if you know what I mean. We all know those kind of TV shows that where you watch the first couple of seasons and they're absolutely brilliant, and then after a while they kind of stray too far away from what they originally were or originally meant to be. And I really hope that it doesn't go that kind of route, but you know, one can only hope. We can only just sort of sit back and observe, and if they've really got plans for 6 seasons, then they've surely got a roadmap of where they're going to go, where they're going to end up, where these characters are going to end up. And I wouldn't be surprised if no one dies next season, because it's just, if you're going to kill off someone, you really want it to have such weight to the story that you need to do it at the right time. Now, I know Ali has been rumoured to come back in, and season 2 ended with the friend request from Ali, so I expect to see Ali in some way, shape or form. And I think this is what Cobra Kai will be each season. So at the end of season 1, you get John Kreese. At the end of season 1, you get John Kreese. Season 2, you get the old Cobra Kais. Season 3, you get Chosen and Ali. Season 4, you might get Terry Silver and Mike Barnes. So there's a lot of potential there. And I think the best thing about it is they're taking their time. So each season, there's something more they can add. There's a new layer to look forward to. And you can binge watch season 1 and 2 and not get bored. It's one of them shows that you could probably just keep watching again and again. And it executes this so perfectly, and I love it, is the fact that the show is grey. It's not black and white, it's grey. It's very sort of indifferent, it's very sort of, you know, Daniel, you thought he was the good guy, but, you know, in Johnny's view, he's the other way, and in Daniel's view, Johnny's the other way. And Kreese is like the master manipulator. Now, there is one shot from Season 2 that I absolutely love. It's just a single frame. And all it is when Daniel's going to the dojo after Hawk and the Cobra Kais have trashed the Miyagi dojo. And Daniel goes in there to confront them. And there's Kreese just standing in the middle of the frame. And you just see Johnny and Daniel either side of Kreese. And it sort of shows... To me, Kreese is like the Emperor. He's like... No, he's not like the Emperor. Sorry. He's sort of like the... Too much Star Wars. He's sort of like the manipulator. He's sort of like the one who will plant all the seeds. And by the end of Season 2... it culminates in a way where you feel like it's organic. It feels believable. Okay, he's actually gone ahead and done this. So, you know, wow. But, you know, that's just a testament to the writing. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this season goes. I'm excited to get a full trailer. I cannot wait for it. Guys and girls, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to see any character deaths this season? Do you think it will be so much as 3? What character are you most looking forward to? I'm going to say right out the gate, I'm looking forward to Miguel's recovery. That's going to be great. Johnny and Daniel, they're always going to be great. But I am most looking forward to Robby's arc. And the reason I say that is through Season 1 and 2, Robby is one of those characters that people are very 50-50 on. And after kicking Miguel down the staircase, he has a lot of making up to do. And what makes it even more tragic is if you watch Season 1 and 2 again, look at it from Robby's angle. It just... There's certain scenes. I think there was one scene where he was pouring himself a bowl of cereal. He put tap water in it. The lights went out. You know, his mother's hooking up with random dudes. And it's those kind of moments where you actually feel sorry for him. And then Miyagi-Do was a way of him turning his fortunes around. And then it all went to hell. So I'm very excited to see what they do with Robby. And I think that's going to be a very interesting point going forward. That's just a take of mine on it. What's your take? What character are you most interested for? And, you know, yeah. Where do you think they're going to go with things? Do you think Chosen might come back from Okinawa? Do you think Daniel and Johnny are going to go together? And, yeah, comment down below. Let me know. As always, the conversation always continues down there. And, yeah, I will talk to you all in another video soon. Remember, defeat does not exist in this dojo.